Morning all student. So welcome to again lecture series TYBSc Physics. We have to see that the subject of atom, molecule and physics, and that chapter is the atomic structure. So summary of the last lecture, we have to discuss about the point Rutherford model of an atom. We have to see that the formula for the Rutherford of the scattering, and also see the part of the electron orbit. Okay, so in this lecture we want to see that the point is the Bohr atom. Okay, so the hydrogen atom is a theory produced by the Niels Bohr in the 1930. So what is problem is there, because the conclusion of the Rutherford model of an atom. So we have to see that in the positive part, positive nucleus, and that electrons is revolves around this, and that nucleus has the positive charge and tiny nucleus. So in Bohr's model of an atom, that theory is a satisfactory conclusion of the Balmer series, Lemon series, Paschen series also, and of the hydrogen atom and ionized helium atom, and he calculated the Rydberg constant of the basis of the purely theoretical consideration. Okay, so what you want to hear, we have to see that three postulate of the Bohr atom. So start from the Bohr atom of the Bohr circular orbit. So whatever see that here, so consider positive charge nucleus. So here proton P, so that is positive charge is there, so that is Ze. Okay, and corresponding here present in the outermost shell, that is electron is here. So here positive charge electron is there, and corresponding velocity is going to for this direction. So consider the velocity v. So this is the Bohr circular orbit. Figure is in that the Bohr circular orbit. Okay, so we have to say that this theory is the physical meaning to the experimental discovery that the frequency of the spectral line and difference between the two spectral lines. Okay, so what I was here that Sir Niels Bohr that modified the Rutherford model of an atom on the basis of the Planck's quantum theory. Okay, and he assumed that the hydrogen atom consists of a stationary nucleus. Okay, on the basis of Planck's quantum theory, so that the Planck's quantum theory, and he assumed that have the stationary nucleus. So first main point is the stationary nucleus. That stationary nucleus having the positive charge, and that electrons is revolves around this stationary nucleus having charge the minus e. So electrons revolves around the stationary nucleus. Correct. So he assumed that positive charge nucleus having proton is there, and this electrons is revolves around this. So main property is the charge of or mass of this proton. Charge is proton is positive, and mass on the proton is the 1836 more than the electron, so 1836 times of the electron. So this is a very massive part of as compared to electrons, and this single electrons is revolves the stationary nucleus, and according to Planck's quantum theory, energy is radiated and absorb the whole multiples of an elementary quantum energy. Okay, so that electrons is revolves around that stationary nucleus, and that electrons is radiate and absorb the huge amount of the quantum energy, and that quantum energy is nothing but the E is equal to h nu. So formula will become E is equal to h into nu. This h is nothing but the Planck's constant. So Planck's constant, and nu is the frequency. And nu is the frequency, and the value of the Planck's quantum constant is 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 13 4 joule second. So value of the this Planck's constant is h is equal to 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. So what is considered as the light or photon? So that the quantum of energy is called the photon, and the word quanta is described by, or we have to say that the group of the wave. Group of the wave is nothing but the quanta, and that group of the wave packet is also in the quantum theory, and that quantum energy is called and the photon. So this is the quantum energy, and this quantum energy called as photon. Okay, so Bohr's theory is based on the three following postulate, and we want to see that these three postulate on the basis of the Planck's quantum theory. So now we want to say that the first postulate. So Bohr's first postulate. So what is first postulate? So Bohr's first assumption was an electrons revolve certain allowed circular orbit about the nucleus under the action of the Coulomb's force. So what is an electron is revolves around the nucleus of certain around the action of the Coulomb force, and we have to know that Coulomb's force Fe is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught E square divided by R square. And consider Bohr atom model is on the basis of the hydrogen atom and atoms, so that's why the symbol of the atomic number that given as the Z is there. So Fe is equal to Ze square divided by R square. So again repeat the statement of the Bohr's first postulate or assumption that the electrons revolve certain allowed circular orbit about the nucleus under the action of the Coulomb force. Okay, so and the force of attraction between the electrons of the charge E and the nucleus of the Ze. Barobar. So what that Fe is what consider the this is the atom, this is the positive charge nucleus that has considered the plus ZE. So this Coulomb force is the attraction between this electron and this positive charge photon. So this ZD and this is the attraction between these two. So that is the thing about the Coulomb force. So where R is the electron nuclear distance. So this R is nothing but electron nuclear distance. Electron nuclear distance. This Z is considered as the atomic number. Atomic number 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is the constant quantity and is the electron value, and epsilon naught, what is this epsilon naught? This is epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. So permittivity of the free space. Okay. So if you want to the statement of the first postulate, that statement is here: electrons revolve in certain statement of first assumption is an electrons revolves in certain allowed, and electrons revolves in certain allowed circular orbit about the nucleus. Allowed about the circular orbit about the nucleus. Allowed circular orbit about the nucleus under the action of Coulomb's law. So this is the first assumption of the Bohr model of an atom. So we want to calculate or equate the stable dynamic condition, that force of the Coulomb's law, that is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Z square divided by R square, and the force acting on these electrons towards the nucleus is the centripetal force, that mv square divided by R. So this is given as the stable dynamic condition, that mv square divided by R is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Z E square divided by R square. So this is the stable dynamic condition. So we want to equate this and calculate the velocity part of this. So here these are going to this numerator and m going to this denominator part. So v square is nothing but z e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This r get cancel, this one r get cancel, so r is remaining here and this m going to this side. So this is the v square value, and this is the first assumption of the Bohr model. So we want to see that the next assumption, that is the second assumption of the Bohr model. Okay, so what tells that the second assumption of the Bohr model, that Bohr model assumption for the hydrogen atom may be stated that only those circular orbit for electrons are permit for which angular momentum L bar is equal to the integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So the statement of the Bohr's second postulate, that only those circular orbit, so second assumption, only those orbit for electrons are permitted for electrons are permitted for which angular momentum L bar, for which angular momentum, that is L bar, is equal to integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Correct? So that formula will become what, say that only those orbit for electrons are permitted for which angular momentum L bar is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So that is given as the L bar is equal to integral multiple, that is n, into h upon 2 pi. This value is here. So we get equation number first, and we have to know that L bar is equal to mvr, that is the angular momentum of the electron, and where v is the linear velocity. Okay, so that consider the angular momentum L bar is equal to m into v into r. So this is the angular momentum of the electron, and this v is considered as the linear velocity. Or if we see that last of the first Bohr assumption, we have to see that the velocity value of the electrons is v is equal to e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r. So we want to calculate or equate these both equation. So first of all, we have to see that L bar is equal to n into h upon 2 pi, and this L bar is equal to mvr. So this is equation number first, and this is equation number second. So equate these both equation. So equating both equation, so that is equation number 1. So that is and equation number 2, so that m into v into r is equal to n into h upon 2 pi. So if we calculate this v value, so what happens here, so that v is equal to this n upon r, and this h upon 2 pi is as it is, and this is m is there, so m into v is equal to n upon r into h upon 2 pi. So this orbit is permitted by the condition shown by that the allowed orbit for the electrons, that the allowed orbit for electrons, and these are allowed orbit called as the non-radiating orbit. So what is mean by non-radiating orbit? So we have to say that electrons is revolves around the nucleus, and that electrons is radiate energy, but this equation will become non-radiating orbit equation. Okay, so this is the second orbit of the second assumption of the Bohr model. Stop.